This is Eddie. I know you don't see my face too often in the video, but I just wanted to go over some things about a gas smell inside a vehicle. What people don't understand is when you have a gas smell inside the car and you can't really smell it outside the car, it's a good possibility that your gas smell is coming from one of the components under the hood, because up here is where your air gets taken in from your heater or your air conditioner when you have your air conditioner or heater on. It sucks the air in from right here. Yeah, there's a gasket right here to stop it from leaving the engine compartment, but you got all these little gaps into here and up around here that gases can sneak by and get into your fresh air intake, and then you smell gas inside your car. So a couple of things you want to check first before anything is the first thing I want you to check is your oil cap. Your oil cap is right at the top of your engine, and when you have an oil cap that could be leaking, as you can see in the picture, the O-ring on this oil cap is pretty flattened out, and there could be some fumes sneaking by there. I don't have any debris or anything on the engine itself. As you can see, there's no oil, but I just did an oil change on this not too long ago. Wiped that all down, because anytime you have dirt or debris here in that rubber O-ring, and the dirt and debris gets between the O-ring and the metal surface here, you could have a potential fume leak. So if you see dirt, like as you can see right here, this is where where oil was kind of coming out of here and getting down into this area here, just fumes. But it leaves like a oil mist, and then dirt gets collected on it. So check your oil cap first. Make sure that's tight, and make sure there's not a lot of oil and stuff, debris around it. And if there is, just wipe it down, maybe change that O-ring, and it should take care of the problem if that's where your smell is coming from. Another area to look at for any types of gas fumes coming from the engine would be, like, see this area here where the valve cover meets the head? As you can see there, if you can see that in the video, there is some oil leakage there, all along that valve cover, especially if it's on the engine side. You want to see if there's any oil leaking out of your dipstick tube. You can see that there, in time, there has been some leakage. So there are some fumes that you're going to get inside the car from the car leaking oil onto hot components. And especially if it's back here with the exhaust, if there's oil leaking out of the valve cover back here and leaking onto the hot exhaust, the fumes are going to come right up into the intake, fresh air intake of your car. So hot components and oil dripping on them definitely is another reason you could get a gas smell in your car. Another place to check is your spark plugs, because if you have a loose spark plug, it's a good possibility fumes from the combustion chamber can leak past that spark plug, come out the hole here. I took the coil out of here already. Goes down in the spark plug hole, and what happens is the fumes leak past the spark plug and then come out of here, get up into this fresh air intake, and get into your car. Now what I did was I had the liberty of taking out the spark plug here, and I wanted to show you there's a sealing ring. This little gasket right here is a sealing ring, and it's supposed to be crushed when you tighten up the spark plug into the cylinder hole. So if you do think that maybe your spark plugs are loose, that's all you have to do is go into the engine compartment and check all your spark plugs. If you decide to take them out, make sure you get a spark plug gapper. If you're installing them and you don't know how tight to put them, in one of the Chilton's manuals or any kind of car repair guide should give you a spec on the torque of a spark plug. The gap of the spark plug is usually on the side of the box. If you can read that, you're doing pretty good, because that is so small I can't read anything on the side of the box. But it is there. It doesn't give you the torque, but it does give you the spec for your gap on your plug. Another thing Another place you can find that information is here on your hood sticker. A lot of times on Hondas and Toyotas and car manufacturers will put a hood sticker here, tell you the gap in spark plugs, tell you the lash of your valves and stuff as well. So there is some good information up here. Torque on a spark plug, you're probably looking at 15 foot-pounds, nothing crazy. So it's just to snug it and to crush that little washer at the bottom so it seals the combustion chamber from any fumes getting out. But if you want to just check your spark plugs to see if they're tight, use a spark plug socket, put it down in the hole, and what you can do is just give it a little tug on it to see if it's tight. If it's tight, then leave it. But if they're loose, what I suggest you do is you back off the spark plug a little bit, and then tighten it back up. And once you start to feel it bottom out, like right there, give it like a quarter turn, or until it feels snug enough where you don't think any fumes can leak by. All right, so if your spark plugs are all tight and they're all set, you shouldn't have any leaks through there. So then your exhaust leak or the gas fumes would be coming from somewhere else. So there's one other place you can check here for like a gas fumes getting into the car, which would be the exhaust system. Now in this car, the exhaust system is down and back, and it's right at the back side of the engine, right below the fresh air intake. So if you do have a leak at your manifold, or your manifold gasket, or somewhere in this area, the fumes can come right up here and go in here. And there's, exhaust fumes have a lot of raw fuel in them before it gets to the catalytic converter. So that could be another potential reason you could have a gas smell inside a car. All right, so down and back here, you have, this is your catalytic converters down here and your manifolds down here. And if you have an exhaust leak, it could come right up here and potentially go right into the car. So how do you check for an exhaust leak? So that's another thing I'm going to show you here is how to check your exhaust system for an exhaust leak. So what if you have dual exhaust? How do you check that? Well, if you take a look inside here, your pipe's right inside. It's not really, it's this chrome piece is just part of the bumper. Your pipe's actually inside. So you have to stick a rag way in there, This one goes through a muffler system that the pipe comes out on either side. So what that does, it's a single pipe from the front, but then it hits this muffler piece and goes out as two separate pipes. On a real dual exhaust system, you got two exhaust pipes going from the rear all the way to the front to either side of the engine. But this is only a 4-cylinder, so they run one pipe back there and they put two pipes exiting the back of the car so that it appears to be dual exhaust. So if you do have a dual exhaust system like this, you're going to have somebody plug this pipe first, and then you're going to have to go over to this pipe and plug the other one. It's the only way to plug off the system to make sure that there's no leaks somewhere in the system itself. Another thing I wanted to point out to you is on American cars, you have these little weep holes at the bottom of each of the, like that's a resonator, and then you have it on the bottom of the muffler as well. It's just to allow moisture to come out of the tank there, and so it doesn't rust from the inside. So if you may hear a little bit of an exhaust leak, as you can see, even on the muffler, there's one of those weep holes. It's just to drain the water out of the bottom of the muffler itself. So you may hear a little bit of exhaust coming out of there when you plug that exhaust tip or tailpipe. But for the most part, it's just going to be a very tiny leak, and you may even just be pushing the water that's trapped in there out of the hole when you do it anyway. So if you can hear an exhaust leak in your car, you think you have one, here's an easy way to check an exhaust leak. If you can hear like the exhaust is a little bit louder, what you do is you just take a rag and you stick it over the end of the tailpipe, and you put pressure there. You can hear it. You can hear the pressure build up. You hear how it releases the pressure? But I don't hear any leaks up front there. That means that it doesn't have any leaks in the system. But if you did, you'd hear it hissing up in the front of the vehicle somewhere, and that's all you'd have to do is go find out where the leak is coming from. Now the reason why you use a rag is because the exhaust can get really hot. So you don't want to burn your hand putting it over the exhaust pipe. And also if you have a chrome tip on the exhaust pipe, you got to be careful because this rag, you're going to have to stuff it right inside there to stop the fumes from coming out of there. But if you do have an exhaust leak, that could be another reason why you smell gas inside the car. So I hope this helps. If you have any questions or comments, leave them in the box below.